everyone. Welcome, those of you who are on island and of course those in the diaspora. We apologize for the late start. As you know, these are trying times and there will be circumstances beyond our control, but we are here to continue our live broadcast of our national response to COVID-19. Primus Hutchinson. I need to apologize as well that our colleague, the effervescent and erudite Lisa Joseph is not with us today, but we'll continue to provide you the necessary information regarding the nation's response to COVID-19. Our program will be a short one today because we do not have we will not be presenting the interview segment, but of course we will have news for you and also a few notices. We also wish to welcome on board our partner stations here, our local stations, who've been with us throughout. We are very, very grateful for that. And so what we will do to commence our live broadcast is to start with our news segment. And to begin the news segment, health officials have put the public on alert that come Friday, meaning today, the 27th March 2020, it will no longer be business as usual at the Victoria Hospital, as the hospital actively transitions to the Owen King EU Hospital. In this report from Glenn Simon.
In an effort to fight the emerging global threat, COVID-19, Saint Lucia has taken a policy decision to accelerate the move to the Owen King European Union Hospital, OKEUH, and to use the Victoria Hospital as a respiratory hospital to deal with this highly infectious disease. Following the announcement of this decision, the management and staff of the Victoria Hospital have been working very hard to make this move a reality. Jenny Daniel, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health and Wellness, noted that the full transition will commence from Wednesday, March 25th, 2020.
I wish to thank the hard-working team who are fighting this epidemic while simultaneously ensuring that all preparatory activities to facilitate a smooth and safe transition to the OKEU are implemented. We at the Department of Health would like to inform the fellow St. Lucians that this week will be an historic moment for us in St. Lucia. While we do not want to take away from the serious focus of COVID-19, transitioning to a new hospital is a very rare occurrence, and therefore citizens of this country will be part of an historic and special moment in the country's national development.
Intensive training and preparatory activities will continue in the coming days with different stakeholder groups such as the St. Lucia Fire Service, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, the National Emergency Management Office NEMO, and other government agencies. Staff orientation of the new facility was held last week and team building activities will culminate in a few days. Nancy Francis, Executive Director of the Victoria Hospital, encouraged the public to adhere to the following guidelines.
1. Follow the updates on the news and on social media from approved credible sources, notably the Office of the Chief Medical Officer, the Bureau of Health Education, and the Education and Communication Unit within the Department of Health and Wellness. These briefings will also be aired on GIS, NTN, and other local media, as well as the Ministry of Health and Wellness Facebook page. 2. Adhere to the directives given by the MOVE team. 3. Adhere to the traffic control measures that will be implemented by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. 4. The resources of the state will be heavily involved in the transitioning and COVID-19 activities. Therefore, we expect you to discuss within the family how emergency situations will be managed.
The Department of Health and Wellness urges everyone to join in its efforts to make this transition a reality. From the Government Information Service, I am Anicia Antoine reporting.
And again, we apologize. This report was from Anicia Antoine of the Government Information Service. Sagicor Financial Company Limited has committed to supporting the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, in its fight against COVID-19. Janelle Novell tells us more.
Sagicor Financial Company Limited has committed to US $1 million to aid in the fight against COVID-19 in the Caribbean. The US $1 million will be used to support containment and response efforts, and Sagicor already started dialogue with governments and health ministries in Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and the Director General of the OECS. The focus will be placed on enhancing early detection and providing equipment for the immediate care of those already infected. Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, His Excellency Dr. Didicus Jules, expressing the need for such collaborations, called on other entities to follow suit.
As we know, everything is happening in real time at this point with the COVID virus, and I was very happy to receive a call from Sagicor indicating their interest to support the efforts of the OECS member states in fighting the infection. So as an initial stage, they have come forward with the support for 50% of the resources required to purchase thermal infrared thermometers for the check-in of persons coming in at various ports of entry. This is a welcome contribution because it will assist the member states and augment the resources that they already have in hand. I would want to urge all of the insurance industry to follow the initiative taken by Sagicor, because as we recognize, given the potential scale of this infection, it is going to be a major hit on all sectors of the economy, including the insurance companies. So we hope that they too will play their part like Sagicor is doing in helping us to address this threat.
In Barbados, the company is in discussions with authorities regarding a plan to purchase walk-through scanners to be placed at the island's ports of entry, as well as specific high-traffic facilities. Plans are already in an advanced stage for the distribution of handheld scanners and other medical supplies across the Eastern Caribbean, while in Trinidad and Tobago, the team is working with the government to provide support, including the supply of critical medical equipment. Sagicor Jamaica is currently coordinating efforts with other private sector organizations to finance the purchase of medical equipment, as well as online educational tools for primary school students who are out of school during this time. Sagicor will be funding 50% of the cost of the thermal infrared thermometers for checking persons coming in at various ports of entry into the OECS. Sagicor Life Eastern Caribbean Inc.'s Chief Executive Officer, Donald Austin, described the initiative as the beginning of Sagicor's regional contribution to the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sagicor is pleased and certainly privileged to contribute to the OECS in terms of this initiative. This is but a small part of the beginning of our contribution. We will be making a significant contribution across the whole region in terms of fighting this pandemic, which is affecting the region at this stage. We've started our own process over a month ago and have put a lot of items in place to make sure that our employees and our customers will be taken care of when they do visit our offices. And we see now the contribution to the wider OECS as a significant contribution that Sagicor will play going forward. We look forward to working with the OECS in terms of being able to deliver to them and help them in this significant event that's happening to our countries at this stage.
Group President and CEO of Sagicor Financial Company Limited, Doddridge Miller, described the move as consistent with Sagicor's history of support for the communities in which we operate. Miller stated, quote, "We all need to support initiatives that will minimize risk and reduce the spread of the virus. It is not only the responsibility of governments to respond to this challenge, but also that of corporate citizens. We hope that this assistance can help to bolster the response of our governments as they seek to fight on our region's behalf and play our part in the global response," unquote. Assistant Vice President of Surgical EC Insurance Operations, Branch Manager and Principal Representative Eon Phillips assured staff and clients that they will continue to be well served during this difficult time.
We have put systems in place to ensure that our staff and our clients are well served during this difficult period. We assure our clients that we have systems in place to ensure that their claims are processed in a timely manner as we do going forward. We will ensure that we have all our systems in place to take care of our clients.
Each market will liaise directly with governments and other agencies to determine what support is needed and will handle distribution at the local level. For the Government Information Service, I am Janelle Norville.
Thank you, Janelle. The Ministry of Health and Wellness organizes sensitization session for home care givers as Saint Lucia ramps up efforts to combat the spread of the coronavirus. Details in this report.
The sensitization session was geared towards residential caregivers from various organizations such as Home for the Elderly, the Boys Training Center, Women's Support Center and Transit Homes. It provided an opportunity for health officials not only to provide an overview of COVID-19, but to sensitize those providing services to the more vulnerable of the population, particularly the elderly and persons with chronic medical conditions in one residential space. Another component of the session was to review and adapt infection prevention and control guidelines at the various organizations to reduce the potential risk of transmission of COVID-19 within these facilities. Senior Counselor at the Boys Training Center, Patrick Ferron, highlighted the importance of such a session given the need for accurate and factual information so as to combat COVID-19.
We have actually started the process already using information that is substantiated to work alongside our persons that we're serving. Now, in coming together as a team now, we're actually adding to what we have been using so far, and it will just help us to improve or to continue to find the best practices with certain things that are actually changing as one day moves on and another day comes.
Administrator at the St. Lucy's Home, Sylvester Phillip, emphasized the timeliness of the session.
The seminar today was, in a sense, very informative, very interactive, and a lot of minute details were gone through. And I'm very happy that I have participated in the workshop. The information that I have acquired will be passed on to my caregivers. In fact, I wasn't here alone. I was also here with the residential manager and one of my senior staff members. We will get together and we will disseminate the information to our communities. When I say communities, I mean our caregivers, people who come, general public, and who require that kind of information to enable us to overcome, whatever problems that we may have as it relates to COVID-19.
Bearing in mind what has transpired in other countries with COVID-19 outbreaks, where transmission in similar facilities resulted in poor health outcomes, early preparedness is necessary so as to prevent similar events in St. Lucia. The session for caregivers was organized by the Department of Health and Wellness. For the Government Information Service, I am Janelle Norville.
Thank you, Janelle Norville. And this is where we come to the end of our news segment for today. We are live here at the Command Center for the National Response to COVID-19 here at the GIS and the National Television Network. I'm Primus Hutchinson. At this moment, we will continue our newscast. I said this is the end, but we have two Queer reports as well. The first one is the Commissioner of Police on curfew and quarantine. Let's hear this report.
Chef Police Saint Lucia Milton Daisy Caveti Pepia pour faire assurer yo suivre wég qui gouvernement a établi pour régler situation maladie COVID-19 et bien corona. Devant une conversation et puis moyen GIS, Chef Police Daisy dit que j'ai business pas nous pour encourager pas plus que 10 moun à établissement yo et tout ça c'est pour protection eux-mêmes et les autres qui au lion.
Moun qui kavon matoué yo ek se bay ça had ça pas nécessaire ça gouvernement dit ça pas nécessaire nous voulons nous pas kay fermer on sou kavon manger bien sou ka ou sans facture qui ka produit bagay pour manger so that moun pas kay rester fin en place là mais tout l'autre bagay ni pour do bout et puis à 11h Unisa yo ka kouye curfew. Bon, pas supposé là dans pièce. Soleil 11 ou supposé homo et puis ça pas supposé ni tellement trois cas parce que yo hakare courageux pour rester là caillou. So nous ni moun qui supposé aller là où il y a ton police ou ni nurse ou ni docteur après ça parce que yo kay couiller yo anytime any l'air pour venir à toi high so c'est mon ça en là où il y a et bien sur ça si vous savez ou kaini et puis c'est côté ça là ça yo ka faire faire une application en Nimo pour ou un passe parce que si vous ka naviguer au sans en raison police là ça arrêté ou so moi ka faire appel pour c'est moun ça là pour rester dedans sous pas une pièce location pour dehors pas venir dehors.
Selon chef police Désir, il satisfait et puis manière police qui a conduit situation après ça et qui a fait membre public la salle sous pas une pièce raison pour dehors après les qui gouvernement jamais mis en place rester à Caillou.
Comme moi dit si moun point responsabilité pour on koyo et puis dit OK moi ça c'est ça qui là moi kay suivre lui moi kay d'accord et puis police pas kay ni cause pour dehors la ka siwe that ou quitter chimé so ça police kay ni moi kay ni plus police les chimé ka veiller c'est business là qui fermé c'est pour moun pas casser et puis bail comme so ça c'est un appel moi qu'a fait pour c'est membre public là pour try pas bail police trois cas quitter police nous savons que ça rester la caillou même quand il y avait gens office la caillou parce que venir ça c'est un bail qui mauvais ça dit pas qu'à venir en travail mais yo là so because nous besoin police pour qui moun obéit et puis moun criminel pas pour l'avantage dans les situations ça là.
Chef police Saint Lucia Milton Daisy c'est démarche que police chapeau pour chaîne pays en bas protection contre COVID-19. Pour Nouvelle Coyol, Primus Hutchinson.
Oui, ça c'était chef police Saint Lucia Milton Daisy à ce situation curfew et quarantaine à la rapport ça là. En l'autre rapport nous à Coyol, c'est président pour les déshabiles concernés qui qualité action pour situation COVID-19 qui mène à adresser ça à notre rapport ça là aussi.
La journée appelle pour les gens qui déshabiles trouver plus support, principalement en réponse pour la maladie COVID-19. Président de l'association pour les gens qui déshabiles, Matthias James, fait un appel pour les gens qui écoutent conseil Premier ministre honorable Alan Chasney et aussi chef officier médical pour rester en caille et pour tenir grande distance hors du monde pour l'autre. Mais selon M. James, les gens qui déshabiles sont dans une situation qui est très critique. Les venus pour observer ces règles là parce que pile de pas ça fait rien pour aider eux-mêmes. Alors, il a plaidé et puis la famille pour faire tout ce qui est possible pour assister la famille qui déshabile en temps secours comme à présent.
L'année en chaimoun qui ni désabilité qui passe à faire ça puis yo besoin non yo besoin famille yo besoin moun pour ben yo pour ba yo manger pour faire bagay ba yo so kachile si c'est moun nan qui ka travail qui ka vini point que ces gens qui ni désabilité en commune si yo di yo pas ka aller tel commune peace l'année maladie ça là et c'est droit yo pour dire ça qui ça nous ka fait so nous ka encourager famille commune pour faire tout ça yoni pour faire by c'est mamio qui ni disabilité qui goin maman qui ni disabilité aussi
et qui qualité qui m'en a dit puisque moi ça votre relation et puis département santé qui qualité support ou peut dire qui puisque ça si vite quand même et que ou qu'a trouvé hod département santé et aussi ministre là qui a représenté.
Oui. Nous avons une relation avec les autres départements gouvernement et ou peut comprendre situation ça juste venir les monde comme ça. Ma dit qu'on surprise nous déjà mis à ces notices qui était l'autre side de la terre. Mais il vient ici il vient joindre nous et que nous ça apprendre from ça l'autre pays jamais été en place. Et actuellement nous besoin si pour tout l'autre ministre, si pour gouvernement mais n'a toujours encourager monde. Gouvernement pas supposé premier côté à moun garder pour support et pour assistance. Moun ni famille, yo ni commune. Ou savent que famille ni une responsabilité pour mettre bagay en place pour ces membres.
Président de l'Association des Amis de Saint Lucia, M. Mophilius James. Pour Nouvelle Créole, Primus Hutchinson.
Ça c'était président Association des Amis de Saint Lucia, Mophilius James. And this is where we come to the end of our news segment. We are live here at the GIS, the Command Center for the National Response to COVID-19. At this moment, we will read you a few notices before we end our live broadcast for today. The first one is from the Castries Constituency Council. With the mounting concern over the spread of COVID-19 globally and in the region, the Castries Constituency Council has made its adjustments to its service operations. The aim is to minimize person-to-person contact and to control the potential spread of COVID-19. Our focus and challenge as an essential service is on maintaining operations within the city of Castries, particularly the upkeep, cleanliness, and sanitation of our facilities and the streets during this period of the partial country shutdown. As such, effective March 25th, 2020, and until further notice, we are making the following changes to our service operations. We will no longer provide walk-in service until further notice. If you require any service or assistance, please go to the City Police Complaints Desk. You can also call 452-2121 for assistance. The landscaping, sanitation, and administrative departments will work until 1 p.m. on a rotation basis. The Works Department, based on urgent matters of maintenance, will be on call. Pertaining to facilities, the Vendors Arcade and the Castries Craft Market will be closed except on Fridays and Saturdays. The Derrick Walcott Square and Serenity Park will remain closed until further notice. The Darling Road, Lower Jeremy Street, and Serenity Park comfort stations will remain closed until further notice. The High Street, Barbonet Bus Stop, and Upper Jeremy Street comfort stations will remain open, along with those in the communities of Parvey, Rose Hill, Marsha, Forshaw, and the Graveyard. These measures are necessary to ensure the safety of employees and the general public, as we remain committed in supporting the Prime Minister's call for persons to stay at home and exercise social distancing. Staff of the Cemetery Department will work only on burial days. We encourage you to send all requests to communications@cccSLU.com. Our staff will respond and advise you accordingly. This was a press release from the Castries Constituency Council. From the Pharmaceutical Association of Saint Lucia, the Pharmaceutical Association of Saint Lucia Incorporated is concerned with protecting our members and the public on ways to minimize the spread of COVID-19. On Sunday, March 22nd, the Pharmacy Council informed all pharmacists of COVID-19 emergency guidelines. The guidelines take effect from Monday, March 23rd and expire on Sunday, April 5th. It allows pharmacists to dispense a 30-day supply of essential medicines for chronic conditions in cases where the pharmacist cannot reach the physician for the excuse me there, I'll read that back again. It allows pharmacists to dispense a 30-day supply of essential medicines for chronic conditions in cases where the pharmacist cannot reach the physician to refill authorization. The patient must have a prescription on file at the pharmacy or a prescription in hand. This does not authorize prescriptions for controlled substances. The patients are asked to use the available services offered by the pharmacy, that is WhatsApp or the drop-off service. The Pharmaceutical Association of St. Lucia assures the public that its primary concern is the well-being of the patient. Additional guidelines are that people with respiratory conditions are not allowed to come to any general pharmacy, so please see the designated respiratory clinic for assistance. No more than 3 clients are allowed for pharmacy services at any one time. Clients should adhere to social distances, that is social distancing rules, and keep at least 1 meter or 3 feet apart. Emailed or WhatsApp prescriptions must be signed and stamped and be valid. Emailed or WhatsApp prescriptions pictures must be of the complete front and back of the prescription. Medicines can only be picked up on presentation of the valid original prescription. For chronic repeat prescriptions, no more than 1 month's supply should be dispensed with a valid prescription. Where a pharmacy provides a drop-off box, please provide the following with each prescription: A, contact number; B, date of birth; C, address; D, full name; C, medicine. And press release coming from the Ministry of Finance in light of the COVID-19 pandemic and in an effort to adhere to the measures implemented by the government of St. Lucia to curb the spread of the coronavirus. The Department of Finance wishes to advise the reduced hours of operation for the following departments: Inland Revenue Department, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., all offices. Accountant General's Department, Castries and Sub-Accountants Offices, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., General Service. Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., Cash. Sub-Accountant Office, days of operation: Viewport, Mondays to Friday; Suffre, Monday to Friday; Denry, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday; Miku, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday; Ancillary, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Postal Services, Post Office, the General Post Office operating hours, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Days of operation, Monday to Friday. Viewport Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Monday to Friday. Suffre Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Monday to Friday. Choiseul Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Library Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Conway Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Rodney Post Office, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Lakewood Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Denver Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Ancillary Post Office, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Please be guided accordingly. Press release from the Bankers Association. The Bankers Association of St. Lucia shares the concerns over the spread of COVID-19 globally and in the region. In the time since the Honorable Prime Minister Ellen Shasta's announcement of a partial scale down of all non-essential economic and social services under the heightened protocol and social distancing regime, the number of COVID-19 infected persons and associated deaths globally has continued to escalate, while the number of confirmed cases in St. Lucia now stands at 3 persons, well, now 1. On Monday, March 23rd, 2020, the government of Saint Lucia declared a state of emergency in order to respond more quickly to the pandemic. The Bankers Association of Saint Lucia is committed to supporting the Prime Minister's call for persons to stay at home and exercise social distancing. In this regard, the association, with the endorsement of the Prime Minister, the Saint Lucia Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, and the Saint Lucia Hospitality and Tourism Association, has announced further changes to its operations. Effective Monday, March 30th to Friday, April 3rd, 2020, the following adjustments will be made in the banking service available to the general public. Services offered: ATM dispensing of cash only. The following transactions will be fully available electronically: wire transmission, online transfers, electronic payroll processing, processing of urgent temporary credit facilities. Services not offered: all in-branch and face-to-face transactions and interactions, night depository services, processing and clearing of checks, ATM deposits. The association wishes to emphasize that while it will be closed to the public, it will continue to facilitate customers' banking needs via email, telephone, and online channels to the extent possible. Customers are also encouraged to avail of alternative banking channels such as mobile and online banking and the use of debit and credit cards. The Bankers Association is again adding its voice to the call for persons to stay at home and support the effort to limit the spread of COVID-19 in our community. It is also appealing for the public's support and cooperation with law enforcement personnel and health practitioners, for it is only through our collective efforts that we will overcome the threat posed by the virus. The banks of First National Bank of Saint Lucia Limited, Bank of Saint Lucia Limited, Capital Financial Services Incorporated, CIBC First Caribbean International, Financial Investment and Consultancy Services Limited, First Citizens Investment Services Limited, RBC Royal Bank, Republic Bank EC Limited, Sagico Finance Incorporated, Saint Lucia Development Bank, and the Saint Lucia Mortgage Finance Company Limited. And lastly, closure of libraries and ICDCs. The Department of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations wishes to inform the general public that in an effort to mitigate the effects and in keeping with protocols set out by the Ministry of Health on COVID-19, all libraries and innovation and career development centers, ICDCs, otherwise known as the ICT Access Centers, will be closed to the public until Monday, April 30th, 2020. The department apologizes for any inconvenience caused. And that is where we come to the end of our notices and our live program for today. I wish to thank all of you for viewing, those of you here on island and in the diaspora, and our partner stations who stayed with us all through. We wish to acknowledge the indefatigable work of the CMO, who's been, on his team, and we wish to commend her and wish her all the best, and call upon our people to practice, to adhere to the hygienic practices, and to adhere to the curfew as well, and to support our government, and to protect our own selves. We need to do this and to call upon the Creator. We need the protection of the heavens to protect us and to behave and adhere to the curfew, to the laws guiding us at this time, at this trying time. We need to report any situation where, if you are aware that someone is here and is not adhering to the practices, not obeying the curfew or not in quarantine, we need to notify the necessary officials and departments, the police and so on. So this is what we need to do, and we need to call upon the Almighty to continue to protect our dear island. And we all must cooperate with the government and with the various departments and officials to make ourselves free of this deadly pandemic. I am Primus Hutchinson, and wishing you all the best, and I'm inviting you to continue to watch our programs on NTN throughout the weekend, and we'll be back here on Monday, God willing, for another live broadcast. Thank you again.
With an update, and then when Dr. Tedros